What's up? BigHerc916, positivity, motivation, never settle for average. You know, we do it over here. I started my fitness journey roughly when I was 13. 13, I can recall going to the gym on base. I lived on a naval base growing up in the Bay Area. And I went in there with some friends because we used to break dance, and we kind of snuck into the weight area, and I seen some guys in there bench pressing, some Marines, and I was just blown away. These guys were ripped, in great shape, pushing big weight, and I'm like, wow, that seems pretty cool. But I didn't really jump into it right then as far as have a routine, but I would kind of go in with a friend of mine and we would mess around. And there was another guy on base, an older kid, and he worked out and he was pretty swollen. He went in there consistently. He did a lot of arms and chest. So his arms and chest were just ridiculous. But we would go in here with him sometimes and kind of try to learn a few things. And then I think one of my friends had a cement weight set, and I messed around with the cement weight set for a minute. And then my stepdad had a cement weight set, so I started working out on that in between skateboarding and breakdancing. But I've always been into taking care of my health, as far as physically and trying to watch the food I consumed. Um, but at the end of the day, your body changes. So as your body changes, you have to be comfortable with your body. I'm 52 now. So that's roughly 40 years in the game, 39 years in the game. And I'm not as lean as I used to be. My chest isn't as firm as it used to be, as hard. Um, I'm probably about, I don't know, 240 something. I could probably lean out to like 220, 200, but I don't give a damn about dieting. I'm not really tripping off of like trying to have a crazy six pack. I mean, people say, "Oh, you can get it." I know I can, but I don't care. I eat Dairy Queen once a week with my wife. I get a Blizzard. I have a chocolate chip cookie once a day. I don't eat fast food. I don't eat a bunch of fried food. I cook at home a lot, but I don't like watch my carbs or do any crazy dieting. I did keto for a while. I lost like 15, 20 pounds, and people started saying, Big Herc, are you sick, man? What's wrong with you? I'm like, no, I just changed up my eating habits a little bit. But, I tried a bunch of different diets, and I've competed once in the heavyweight, won my class, won overall, small competition, but I was young. But I just realized that, there's more to my fitness journey besides just the aesthetics. You got to love yourself. You have to be right up here. I know people who were in superior shape, just ridiculous, and they still had body dysmorphia, where they looked in the mirror and they were like, "Oh man, I need to drop another, percentage of my body fat. I'm at like, 6%. I gotta get down to 5, and I gotta compete at 4%. And oh man, I gotta get this tucked right here. I gotta inject this in here or put this in here." And they get obsessed, and mentally, I don't think they were ever happy with themselves. I don't even think they knew how to love anybody outside themselves because they were so obsessed with the way they looked. And that right there in itself is not healthy. And the whole thing about the fitness industry, bodybuilding should be, you think physical health, but how many people are mentally healthy? How many people just in general are mentally healthy? You know, you got young women out there, barely in their teens, they're getting breast implants, they're getting their lips done, they're getting um, uh, BBLs, they're getting all this stuff, and it's all for attention, it's all for likes, it's all for follows, it's all for views. But what did it do for them psychologically, mentally? Do they feel better about themselves? Are they really happy? Or is it just a temporary fix? I seen one posting, this girl had 6 boob jobs, 4 BBLs, uh, and like 5 like lip injections, or something she put in her lips, and she's sitting there, and she just looks like something from, like, I don't know, like an anime or comic book. But at the end of the day, will she love herself, or will she continue on that path? And I don't think this female was in her 30s, and then trying to reciprocate that love with somebody else to have a healthy relationship. Is it even possible? And we get caught up, and we look at other people and think, wow, but if you were to have a window into that person's life and see how they're really living, and see if they're really happy, you would be surprised. A lot of those people are depressed. A lot of these people, they look so physically fit and in great health, but they're lonely. They might have a bunch of people around them, like, oh, fake friends and all this stuff, but mentally, spiritually, they're very lonely. So you got to have a balance. I mean, working out, being in shape, being able to, flex, take your shirt off, have your booty out, all this stuff is all fine and dandy, but there has to be more to your fitness journey. And I say that your mental should be one of the foundations outside of your spiritual. So you got to have a balance. And I think that's what's missing. You have other people telling you, if you're don't you're not able to take your shirt off, and you don't have this, you're not a real man. Women want real men that can take their shirt off. Yeah, okay. um you're flexing, you got whatever, and then you got this guy who's very well spoken, he's successful, he has a boat, he just invites your girl on his boat, busts her cheeks, takes her to Monaco, takes her to Dubai, has her over there doing stuff that she would never do with you, and she'll come back to you and pretend that everything's fine and dandy, but she's waiting on that text or that email for her next trip to Dubai. So those guys over there in these different countries, and these places where these women are sliding out, a lot of them are in relationships, and they're getting just used and abused. Those guys aren't bodybuilders. They don't have 6 packs. They don't even have a 3 pack, but their pocketbooks are fat, and they don't care. And those guys, that's entertainment for them, and they keep it pushing. So just don't get too caught up on what you think your outward perception should be, as far as how people accept you, because you got to accept yourself first. You have to love yourself. You have to be proud of who you are. You have to be able to provide for yourself and your family. And if that's what makes you happy, then yeah, go to the gym, work out. You ain't got to be the craziest, the buffest. You don't have to do videos with your coochie out, and bending over and trying to get everybody to look all up in your booty hole. You ain't got to do all that. Just do you, because a lot of that is a false sense of security, and it doesn't really mean shit. You grow older, you're gonna realize your looks change. Things start you know, hanging down in different places, and it's not all perky like it was in your 20s and 30s, not even in your 40s. You get in your 50s, 60s, you can look at things a little bit different, man. So I'm not saying don't work out, or don't care at all and just get blowed out. I'm saying have a balance and don't get too hung up on your physicality, because that will diminish over a period of time, and you have to shift your focus to more of a mental balance to where you're still happy with yourself, but you're able to go to the gym. I know some people, man, they were so caught up on how they looked when they were competing. Now they don't compete. They don't even want to work out. I'm like, damn, you just stop working out. They stop working out. They don't even look like a, a, a fraction of what they look like when they actually trained. And it's like, that's crazy, where they just, you say, for the hell with it. They don't want nobody to see them. They got clothes on that are 2 or 3 sizes too big because they're embarrassed. And if you were competing at such a high level, you should never be embarrassed about what you currently look like, because you've done it. Just, live your life out and be happy with what you look like now and who you are. But that's what I mean, as far as just not having that balance, and really being a shell of a person. There's no soul, no self-love. Self-love is what we're missing. That's a part of my journey, is self-love, and being able to, love myself first. Because if I don't know how to love myself, I'm not going to be able to know how to love my wife. And so that's a part of the journey. And I just want to share that with you guys out there. I know a lot of people, like, oh man, this guy got his shirt off, he's doing this, he's blah blah blah, and this and that. And I used to put out a couple workout videos and look at your form on this and that. And I'm like, man, I've lifted more than most of those guys talking shit. I've done more than most of those people, and it doesn't care for me to even explain to them, because I'm an idiot if I try to explain to people on the keyboard what I already accomplished or where I'm at in my life. I'm just grateful to be on this planet after 50, going on 52 years, and I'm still healthy. I'm not like messed up in the head, or I got my freedom. I'm still breathing and able to make moves. So I'm grateful for that, man. And I'm grateful that I can look back on my life and reflect on the things I've done, and know that I've accomplished a lot of things that a lot of people haven't. And I still got a long way to go, but I'm humble in my journey, and I'm looking forward to new challenges and sharing my life with new people. So just want to put that out for you guys. BigHerc916, love yourself. Be proud of your fitness journey, your mental journey, your spiritual journey. Have balance, and don't get too caught up on your physical and lose yourself in multiple operations or just a bunch of drug enhancements, to the point where, when all that attention goes away, you disappear, and then you don't want to live with yourself anymore. That's not good. So subscribe, share the channel. BigHerc916. I gotta hurry up and wash my ass. Go to BigHerc916.com, pick you up a bar of soap, and wash your ass, or else you're gonna be under arrest too. Oh, shit. Visit BigHerc916.com to pick up a limited edition GTA poster signed by me for $10, or with your purchase of a Wig Splitter Porsche t-shirt, I'll throw in a free poster signed by me for you.